It says 46, verse 5.
46.
Yeah. I'm just going to chat here for a minute before we go live. Before we start our verse. So, Sherry's going to read to us a verse she's curious about. And, you wonder what people see when they look at you. And when something is highlighted to you, or a person that is highlighted to you. And more recently, because I feel like I am Ibram, that I am Yehudim, that I'll look, suddenly I don't see anybody in their cars, in their faces, but when I look and focus on a female, and obviously a Jew here in America yesterday, I was pulling into a parking lot and she was pulling out. So there was a split second, and she looked into my eyes, and then she looked at my face, and she smiled big, as if she recognized me. And she did not recognize me, because I do not know her, but she recognized who I am with, who I am from, and where I am going. She saw me as Yehudim. She was beautiful, beautiful black hair. I am able to do services for a lot of Jews in this area, and I recognize the look. We look a lot alike. And then I look at myself, I don't really see, I see the dark hair, but I see that he is changing me in to his image, that I'm not his perfect image yet, but I am being changed. I heard something the other day, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that we're all the children of Yahuwah. Some are, their pigment's gone because they've been depleted of, that they've been depleted of iodine. And I don't know if that's true or not. And you may be right. It may be very dumb, Stephen. But it was a curious thought, because I have been taking iodine and my skin pigment has been darkening, which probably means that my body was very deficient. Okay, Sherry, read the scripture you want to read.
Okay. 46. Psalms 46.
Verse 5.
Okay.
Have you gone to verse 5?
Yeah, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
God is within her. She will not be
Toppled.
God will help her when the morning
Dawns. Okay. So I'm going to repeat that. Say it again. Just one phrase at a time. God is what?
Is
start at number 5.
God is within her.
Yes, there we go. Stop. God is within her. God is within the bride. Right?
Yes.
And the next part of it?
And she will not be toppled.
She will not be toppled. She will not stumble. Okay, go ahead.
God will help her when the morning dawns.
God will help her when the morning dawns. When does the morning dawn? The evening and the morning were the first day. So the morning dawns when the moon comes up. So when the moon has its own light, when the lights in the sky change,
Right.
and the moon has its own light and is not a reflection of the sun, but has its own light.
That's dawn.
We're going to see. We're going to see. I'm looking forward to it. I may be crazy, but I keep thinking that the moon is brighter every night. That could be because the light of the sun is brighter every night, every day. Could be. Or it could be that he's changing the lights, which he said in his prayer call yesterday on the 2nd. And yes, you're asking, am I having a good morning? I am. The spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh has been so heavy. The esteem of the Father has been so heavy upon us. And we have wept tears of joy as we prayed and believed for Sherry that all her parts would be filled with shalom, shalom. And I speak shalom, shalom to you. Every one of you. Okay, here we go. You hear that? That quiver, that trembling, that reverence of Yahuwah. Okay, the Father. I cry, Abba, Father. The Son came that we might be returned to the Father. So, yes, it's good that the Son has come, but the reverence of the Father is what the Son was teaching. Okay, we're getting started. Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, the sovereign, made it says Salem, Tselem, of gold. And it says that's an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dora, in the province of Babel. So you know what's been set up in the plain of Houston, in the province of Babel? Downtown is a statue, an image of a monkey god, a Hindu monkey god. I know that's off subject a minute, but I just had to say it. That Hindu monkey god has been set up in Houston. And here we're reading about King Nebuchadnezzar, the sovereign, has set up an image that is the height of 60 cubits. Well, you know what? They said that this one was 80 feet. They keep changing it every day. It was 80, and now they're saying it's 90. I don't know. Somebody needs to get out there and measure that thing. But that might be a bad thing too. Because measuring that, getting near that false thing, we just call it down. I call down the idolatry in Houston. I call it down. In the mighty name of Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha, I call down that Nebuchadnezzar sovereign deity image that has been set up in Houston. I don't even know what the name of it is, but it is horrifically ugly. and it is bronze. Okay, verse 2. The sovereign Nebuchadnezzar, or Nebuchadnezzar, which is what it says here in this version, sent word to gather together the victors, victories. No, that couldn't be right. Visories, the visors, okay, people that advise the nobles, right? Advisories, the nobles and the governors, the counselors and the treasurers, the judges and the magicians, right? And all the officials of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which sovereign Nebuchadnezzar had set up, or Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Verse 3. The visors, the nobles, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, and the magistrates, which is magicians or magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces gathered together for the dedication of the image of the sovereign Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And they stood before the image of that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald loudly proclaimed, "To you it is commanded, O peoples, nations, and languages, that as soon as you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, and the zither, the lyre, and the harp, and the pipes, and all kinds of instruments playing the anthem, you shall fall down and do obeisance," that means to tremble, "to the gold image that sovereign Nebuchadnezzar has set up." Verse 6. And whoever does not fall down and do obeisance, that means to tremble, is immediately thrown into the midst of the burning furnace of fire. So, as soon as all the people heard the sound of the horn, the flute, and the zither, the lyre, and the harp, and all kinds of instruments, all the people, nations, and languages fell down and did obeisance to the gold image that the sovereign Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Thereupon, at that time, certain Chaldeans came forward and accused the Yehudim. They spoke and said to the sovereign Nebuchadnezzar, Sovereign, live forever. You sovereign, have made a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn and the flute and the zither and the lyre and the harp and the pipes and all kinds of instruments shall fall down and do obeisance to the gold image. And whoever does not fall down and do obeisance is thrown into the midst of the burning furnace of fire. And there are certain Yehudim whom you have set over the works of the providence of Babel, Shadrach, Meyshak, and Abed-Nego. These men, sovereign, pay no heed to you. They do not observe serve your Elohim or Elohim, and they are not doing obeisance to the gold image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and wrath, gave orders to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego. Then they brought these men before the sovereign. Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said to them, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, that you do not serve my Elohim? Hello. I'm doing well. How about you? Joseph, that's I welcome that. I like to pray for people. And you're welcome to text me so we can get a conversation, or you can go and find me in Facebook and private chat me at Kimberly, last name Ates, Apple Tom Elephant Sam. Anyway, here we go. That you do not serve my Elohim. Now, in the last chapter, King Nebuchadnezzar said Daniel's Elohim is the Elohim of all, and commanded everyone to worship him. Well, this guy, he has a short memory, because now he's saying, you must serve my Elohim, and it ain't the right one, right? Because he's setting up an altar to it. And you do not do obeisance, which means to tremble, to the gold image which I have set up. Verse 15. Now, if you are ready when you hear the sound of the trumpet, of the flute, and of the zither, the lyre, and the harp, and the pipes, and all kinds of instruments, and you fall down and do obeisance to the image which I have made, good. But if you do not do obeisance, you are immediately thrown into the midst of the burning furnace of fire. And who is the Alu, or it doesn't say Alua, it says Allah. And who is the Allah who does deliver you from my hands? Verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, I see you, Joseph, and Abed-Nego answered and said to the sovereign, Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. I'm also on WhatsApp, okay? Verse 17. For if so, our Allah, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning furnace of fire, and from the hand sovereign, from your hand, sovereign. He does deliver. But if not, let it be known to you, sovereign, that we do not serve your This one is spelled with an E, interestingly. Elohim, with the N on the end. Nor do we do obeisance to the gold image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with wrath, and expression on his face changed toward Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego. He responded and gave orders that they heat up the furnace 7 times more than it was usually to heat it. And he commanded some of the strongest men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego and throw them into the burning furnace of fire. So these men were bound in their coats with trousers and their turbans. I've always thought about that. If they have turbans on their heads, we probably are supposed to have turbans on our heads. Interesting, huh? And their other garments, and were thrown into the midst of the burning furnace of fire. Thereupon, because the sovereign's orders was urgent, the furnace exceedingly hot, the flames of the fire killed the men who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning furnace of fire. Then sovereign Nebuchadnezzar was amazed and stood up in haste and spoke and said to the counselors, "Did we not throw 3 men bound into the midst of the fire?" They answered and said to the sovereign, "Certainly, O sovereign." He answered and said, "Look, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not burnt. And they are not hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the son of Alah." Or here, it doesn't say Alah, it says Allah. And you remember, they're speaking Aramaic. Okay? Interesting, right? Verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar went near the mouth of the burning furnace of fire, and he spoke and said, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, servants of the Most High Allah, come out and come here." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego came from the midst of the fire, and the viziers and the nobles and the governors and the sovereigns and the counselors gathered together, seeing these men, on whose bodies the fire had no power, and the hair of their head was not singed, nor were their garments changed, nor did the smell of fire come on them. Nebuchadnezzar responded and said, "Blessed be the Allah of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, who sent his messenger." Okay, so he's observing that it's an angel, right? Who sent his messenger, but it could be the Son of God, just like he thought, right? "And delivered his servants who trusted in him." I like to go with the first gut feeling. The first gut feeling is usually the answer. Then we start compromising so that we don't offend people around us. And we start backpedaling. It was the son of Elohim. And delivered his servants who ordered, just his servants who trusted in him, and changed the sovereign's order, and gave up their bodies, that they should not serve nor do obeisance to any Allah except their own Allah. Therefore, I make a decree that whoever of any people, nation, or language who speaks any wrong against the Allah of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, his limbs shall be taken, and his house made a dunghill, because this is no other Allah, because there is no other Allah who is able to deliver like this. Then the sovereign promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego in the province of Babel. So, here is another account, just like when Daniel was able to, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego fasted with him and prayed for the answer for 3 days and got a dream, the dream and the interpretation for this man, Nebu, right? Nebu. And then the very next chapter, their faith in God was tested yet again. And this same guy is the one testing them yet again. Does it feel like your family members? God bless you. He keep you. And I hope that you are serving the Allah, the way he said it anyway, the Allah, the Elohim, that answers by fire and that answers by protection. I have a reading from, I think it was Jubilee, and it has a long version of this story. Daniel's version here in chapter 3 is a short version, but in the long version, they sang glory and esteem to Yahuwah, the Father, the Maker, the Creator. And they had this long song where everything they thought of, they thanked Yahuwah for the sun and the stars and the moon and the oceans and the rivers and the streams. They thanked Yahuwah for everything in this prayer. Because they, and before that, they prayed a small prayer, even though they didn't realize that they were not burning up. They prayed a prayer of repentance, saying, if this is the will of Yahuwah, that they burn to death, that they accept the fact that this is the will of Yahuwah. But if they have not sinned, they thank God, Yahuwah, that he will rescue them, if not in this lifetime and in the next. And then the angel of Yahuwah, or the son of Yahuwah, came and was in the fire with them and blew the fire. There was a force field around him and them, and it blew the fire onto the crowd and was killing the crowd that was round about. The flames licked up the people because of the force field around the messenger, the son of Yahuwah. the Father, the Son of the Father, the Son of Adonai, the Son of Elohim. There is a force field around you. His power is a force field around you. So those that just came, well, they're popped back off now. But the force field will protect you. When you love him, just like Jesus did, or Yeshua did, Yahusha did. And we saw the power of Yahusha today. And we saw a manifestation of Sherry being able to think. Usually she doesn't observe much of anything, but she observed my shirt. So I know that God is working mightily in her. But what was that saying? Oh, so in the prayer call yesterday, he said that he is a force. I was saying that the son of Adam, the son of Yah, God, also said that he loved the Father and kept the Father's commands, kept the word of Yah. And this is how he operated, showing us how we are to operate. And if you have that, then you have the power. You have the force field. You have it. They said that there was even like water and dew cooling them, that there was cold air coming from inside the fiery furnace, that they could feel the wind, that the wind, the ruach, was sending cold air to cool his children while they were inside the fire. Not only was the flames being pushed back by the force field, but the ruach was like a fan pushing down freezing cold air upon his children, upon the children of Yahuwah. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord, well, I don't like the word Lord, right? Because if you look in the front of your Bible, it says that the Lord word is actually a changing of Yahuwah, a YHWH, to that. So the YHWH, Yahuwah, be with you, is with you in your midst, as Psalms 46:5 says, that she, meaning the bride, has Yahuwah, Yahusha, inside her, in her midst. And if you do, then you've got the force. God bless you. Check out the prayer from the emergency prayer. It's awesome also.